Hey everybody, the NBA playoffs are almost set. Today I'm going to be giving my predictions for the first round of the NBA playoffs. I know the 8 seeds for both conferences haven't been completely set yet, but I think that I have my picks still locked in for what I think is going to happen in these first round series. In the Eastern Conference, we have Milwaukee playing against either Miami, Toronto, or Chicago. And in all honesty, I think that regardless of what team gets the 8 seed, I think Milwaukee wins that series in 5 to 6 games. I think Miami would give them the toughest challenge, and even Toronto could give them some problems because of the team defense that Toronto plays, and because OG Anunoby is one of the best defenders in the NBA, and he could shut down Giannis to a certain extent. But I think that Milwaukee comes out on top in that series in either 5 or 6 games. In the 4 versus 5 matchup in the Eastern Conference, I have Cleveland beating New York in 4 games or possibly 5 games, but my prediction is in 4 games. And the reason for this is because I am just so high on guys like Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell is an incredible player. I think he is definitely an all-star and possibly even a third-team All-NBA kind of guy. And I think that Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson just can't get it done in the playoffs. I think Jalen Brunson is a really good player, and I think that he will do his thing. And I think that he could possibly steal a game for the Knicks. But I think every single time that we've seen Julius Randle in the playoffs, I just don't think that he's shown up the way that we want him to. I think he's a good player, but I think as a second option or like in a 1A, 1B kind of situation, I don't think he's good enough to lead these Knicks past the Cleveland Cavaliers. Next up, we have the Philadelphia 76ers, who are the 3rd seed, playing against the number 6 seed Brooklyn Nets, and I have Philadelphia winning the series in 7 games. And the reason I have it going so long is because Nicholas Claxton is a defensive player of the year candidate for the Brooklyn Nets, and he can do something against Joel Embiid and maybe hold Joel Embiid to lower than his normal scoring average and maybe on lower efficiencies. And we've seen how this 76ers team can play when Joel Embiid has an off game or can get shut down by a really good defensive center. And also, if you put Mikal Bridges on James Harden, I think that can cause a lot of matchup issues for the Philadelphia 76ers, but I think that Philadelphia's star power with Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris, as well as James Harden and Joel Embiid doing their thing, can get past almost any team in this first round that's not Milwaukee and Boston. For the final matchup of the Eastern Conference, we have the number 2 seed Boston Celtics and number 7 Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta won the play-in game a couple days ago, so now they are locked into that 7 seed. But I think Boston takes this in 4 games. I just don't think that Trae Young is going to be able to lead Atlanta even in one singular victory over this Boston Celtics team. This Boston Celtics team is my favorite to go to the NBA Finals from the Eastern Conference, and I just think they're too deep and too stacked to beat for Atlanta to beat at all in this series, and I think that this won't even be a close series at all. Going over to the Western Conference, we have the number 1 seed Denver Nuggets playing against the 8 seed play-in team who we don't quite know yet, and that will either be Oklahoma City or New Orleans or Minnesota. And I think that any of those teams will lose to Denver. If New Orleans had Zion Williamson, then I think that would be an incredibly entertaining series. But the Pelicans, came out recently and said that Zion Williamson is nowhere close to coming back, and therefore I'm going to just take Denver in 5 games. Even if Zion were to come back for like games 5 and 6, I still think that Denver takes that series in 5 to 6 games. Next up, we have the 4 seed Phoenix Suns playing against a 5 seed Los Angeles Clippers, and if Paul George was healthy coming into this series, I would actually take the Los Angeles Clippers in an upset, and I know that might shock a lot of people, but I think that the duo of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George at their best is better than the duo of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And that is a hot take, but I think that Devin Booker in the playoffs is someone I do not trust. But because Paul George is possibly out for the first couple games of the series, and because he will just be coming back from a lengthy injury. I think Phoenix will take this in 6 games. But if Paul George was healthy, like I said, I think this series would either go 7 games or 6 games with the Clippers winning. Next up, we have Sacramento and Golden State, and Sacramento is the 3rd seed, and Golden State has struggled on the road. But I think that with Andrew Wiggins coming back soon, and with the Warriors' championship pedigree, I don't think they lose in the first round. I don't see that a situation where they lose to Sacramento. Sacramento is a really good team, and I really respect them, and I really like what they've done. I think that in the future they can be really good, but they just lack the playoff experience, whereas the Warriors won the championship last year with this same core of players, and they have a core of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Kevon Looney even, that have been here before, and I just think they're too deep of a team to lose in the first round to Sacramento. Finally, we have the number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies and the play-in winner, number 7 Los Angeles Lakers, after they beat Minnesota a couple nights ago. And I think that actually the Los Angeles Lakers come into Memphis and win this series in 5 games or 6 games, because I don't think that Memphis has what it takes to stop Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And especially without Brandon Clark, who tore his either ACL or meniscus, I cannot remember which one, or Achilles. I think that they do not have what it takes to beat this team. I think LeBron James and Anthony Davis are too good of a duo together, and they've been having a lot of chemistry. I think the only situation where Memphis wins the series is if one of those two gets hurt, and even so, I think that the Lakers will win this series. I don't have the Lakers going on a far playoff run this year, but I think that they can easily beat Memphis in this first round. I want to make a video for each round of the playoffs as it comes to that point in the playoffs. So when all the first round series are done, I'm going to make a video predicting the second round series as well. But as of right now, I'm going to say that I predict that the Eastern Conference Finals will be Milwaukee versus Boston, and I think that the Western Conference Finals is going to be Denver playing against Golden State, and I think in the NBA Finals, it's going to be Denver and Boston. And I think Boston wins that series in 7 games, with Jason Tatum being the Finals MVP. Thank you all for watching. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to get more content. I'll be covering the NBA more extensively as the playoffs are here now. And if you want certain types of content, just let me know in the comments below.